You know, before the election, Biden decided to play strong arm against Russia by claiming he was not the president Putin wants to fuck with. But I will tell you this right now. He is the president that Putin wants to fuck with because he has no fucking spine. I'm actually genuinely pissed off at how he's handled everything here. And I live in Canada, by the way. And he has been useless. Absolutely useless in this entire endeavor. Let's take a look at what he said before the election, why don't we? Let's take a look.
Because Putin knows if I am president of the United States, his days of tyranny and trying to intimidate the United States and those in Eastern Europe are over. I'm going to stand up to him. He's a bully, just like the president. And I know he doesn't want me to be president, but to tell you what, when I'm president, things are going to change. Because Putin...
Really, things are going to change. What have you done since this entire thing happened that has warranted any kind of threat? You've done nothing but sit at the sidelines. You've known about this information since December, and all you did was leak it to China, expecting them to somehow help you when in this entire situation, they're going to be benefited from the fact that Russia gets Ukraine. Because that means they can make the similar move to get Taiwan, and seeing how laid back you've been, it wouldn't be that far of a stretch to believe. I have seen so many corpses online at this point that I'm losing my damn mind. I've never shed so many tears for people I've never known in my life. And yet you stand there acting like you're the tough guy here? Putin's fucking insane. And you sit at the sidelines like you can negotiate with him, like you have any kind of political advantage over him. He's not going to sit at the table and negotiate. This is what he's wanted from day one. It's been 22 years and you think he's going to change now? You're delusional. You've lost your bloody mind. But there's more to it. Let's see how he decides to fight against Putin now that he's decided to invade Ukraine. Why don't we take a look at that? Well, let's take a look. Fuck it. Why not?
We've been transparent with the world. We've shared declassified evidence about Russia's plans and cyber attacks and false pretexts so that there could be no confusion or cover-up about what Putin was doing. Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
First of all, we already know that. Putin's doing this because he wants to. What you're saying is fucking stupid, old man.
Today, I'm authorizing additional strong sanctions and new limitations on what can be exported to Russia.
Won't matter, because guess who's going to bail them out as usual? It was the same thing when they were put under sanctions before. China will help them, because in the end game here, they're seeing how the world's going to react to them taking what they consider theirs back. It's the same thing that's going to happen to Taiwan if this old bugger doesn't wake the fuck up and realize that his regime is shit. I'm so mad.
This is going to impose severe cost on the Russian economy, both immediately and over time. We have purposely designed these sanctions to maximize the long-term impact on Russia and to minimize the impact on the United States and our allies.
Here's the problem with this. Russia doesn't give a fuck about its citizens. Do you know how many thousands of people are protesting out there right now? Let me see if I can get you a clip. Because there is quite a few out there that have decided that they don't want this. Here it is. Let me put this bad boy right in front of you. Tell me that these citizens are acting like they want this. Look at them. No to war. That is what they're saying over and over and over again. And guess what? Your sanctions are just going to affect them. Your sanctions will only hurt them. It's not going to hurt Putin because he's worth over $200 billion. What assets do you think freezing is going to change his mind or sway him away from it? He doesn't care about his people the same way some of our leaders do. He cares about one thing and one thing only, and that's his personal gain from getting Ukraine. Sanctions aren't going to stop this. Action will. It depends which action you take that changes the game. Just keep that in mind, Biden, because this is a game of chess, and some reason you're playing fucking checkers in front of us.
I want to be clear. The United States is not doing this alone. For months, we've been building a coalition of partners representing well more than half the global economy.
If he gave a fuck about the global economy, he would be scared shitless at sanctions. All you're doing is distracting from the fact that you have done nothing to actually help Ukraine here.
27 members of the European Union, including France, Germany, Italy, as well as the United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and many others, to amplify the joint impact of our response. I just spoke with the G7 leaders this morning, and we're in full and total agreement. We will limit Russia's ability to do business in dollars, euros, pounds, and yen to be part of the global economy. We'll limit their ability to do that.
You're trying to fight somebody with a long-term goal when he is already short-sighted in what he's trying to get. Vladimir Putin doesn't care about something that'll affect him 3 or 4 years down the road. He cares about getting what he wants now. And if he gets it, what are you going to do to stop it when it happens? Nothing. That's the problem. You don't see this as the game that it is. And I hate to say game because people's lives are at stake, but you're standing there with your squinty eyes looking at the stupid fucking projection, or the fucking projector screen, reading off a script that wasn't even written by you.
We're going to stunt the ability to finance and grow the Russian military.
How?
We're going to impose major, and we're going to impair their ability to compete in high-tech 21st century economy.
They already have it! They have all the weaponry they need. There's no soldiers in Ukraine that can go up against such a huge amount of soldiers from Russia. Sanctions aren't going to help them now. It might help them a few years down the road, but that's already going to be too late. Why is he not seeing this? I know he's afraid of the nuclear button, but guess what, Biden? You got a briefcase too. And you've got anti-air military, you've got anti-air weapons, so do they. Start using your fucking brain for once and stop trying to focus on trying to do this in the most economical way and start focusing on the fact that people's lives are at stake. You can't put a dollar sign on life. And that's the problem. He thinks he can. He thinks putting restrictions in place for a short-term war that Vladimir Putin will clearly win if Ukraine doesn't get some sort of support. He just thinks that'll be the catalyst that stops him. But it won't be. It absolutely will not be.
We've already seen the impact of our actions on Russia's currency and the ruble, which early today hit its weakest level ever.
Oh, he's talking about financial shit again. Do you want to see a video of a father in Ukraine who now has to leave his daughter behind because he has to fight a war that you are not helping in? Here, take a look at this. Tell me this isn't one of the most depressing things you've ever seen. Tell me this isn't the saddest fucking thing. Get fucking back there. Look at this. This is what your inactions are doing. This poor man has to leave his child and his wife behind. Because of your inaction. You signed a deal with Ukraine, and so did the UK, that you would come and you would help if they were in danger. That is why they gave up their nukes. This is one of the saddest things I've ever seen. And you're standing there and preaching economy? You're a fucking piece of shit, Biden. You're a prick and a wimp. You're a lazy little bitch. Do something other than sanctions. Sanctions aren't going to help them. You need to start thinking big game. You're a scared child who can't even form a sentence without having to read it because your brain is shutting down from your sheer stupidity.
Ever in history, the Russia stock market plunged today.
They don't fucking care
Russian
about the
government
stock
borrowing
market.
rates spiked by over 15%. In today's actions, we've now sanctioned Russian banks that together hold around $1 trillion in assets.
This is the problem. He's attacking the money that he does not fucking care about. People are fucking dying and he's talking about economic sanctions. I'm livid. I almost cried again watching that video. And yet he could barely look away from the projector that's giving him that stupid little speech he's fucking saying.
We've cut off Russia's largest bank, a bank that holds more than 1/3 of Russia's banking assets.
Oh my
by
God!
itself.
It's like that's something that matters to
US
Putin.
Financial system. And today, we're also blocking 4 more major banks.
Oh my
That means
goodness.
every asset they have in America will be frozen.
Oh my God,
This includes
America!
VTB, the second largest bank in Russia, which has $250 billion. in
Does
assets.
he even know what he's saying at
As
this point?
promised,
He
we're
hasn't looked
also
away
adding
from that
names to the
teleprompter
list of
in
Russian
ages.
elites
And I just figured out
and
what
their
that word
family
was.
members
Sorry, I'm drunk.
that are sanctioned as well.
No, not drunk.
As
just
I said
drinking.
on Tuesday, these are people who personally gain from the Kremlin's policies, and they should share in the pain. We will keep up this drumbeat of those designations against corrupt billionaires in the days ahead. On Tuesday, we stopped the Russian government from raising money from U.S. or European investors. Now we're going to apply the same restrictions to Russia's largest state-owned enterprises, companies with assets that exceed $1.4 trillion. Some of the most powerful impacts of our actions will come over time as we squeeze Russia's access to finances and technology for strategic sectors of its economy and degrade its industrial capacity for years to come. Between our actions and those of our allies and partners, we estimate that we'll cut off more than half of Russia's high-tech imports. It'll strike a blow to their ability to continue to modernize their military. It'll degrade their aerospace industry, including their space program. It'll hurt their ability to build ships, reducing their ability to compete economically.
No, it doesn't, because he's thinking short term, whereas you're thinking long term. Well, at least the person that wrote the script is, because we have seen that you're not actually thinking this. You have been focused on that teleprompter the entire time. You're thinking long term when this game is a short game. You have to start treating it as such. You have to start thinking as such. You have to put your mind in the enemy's mind. You're fighting a different war. One that isn't even on the table at the moment. Because you're not going to affect this attack. They have their weaponry. They have their helicopters. They have their ships. They have their airplanes. They don't need more just to get to that point. You are missing the point, Biden. You're missing the big game here. And this is a problem. This is something that needs to be addressed in a way that you don't seem to want to address it yet because you're afraid of nuclear war. Then do your cyber war attacks. Do what you have. Do what you have available where you don't have to put troops on the ground. Just delay them. Slow them down. Make it so that most of their citizens can get to Poland, where they're already accepting 1.4 million refugees. Why don't we take a look at that? Why don't we? Where do I have it? Where do I have it? Here it is. Here it is right here. Today at Polish Parliament Group on Ukraine, Michael Warczyk from PM Office confirms that Polish border is open for all Ukrainians, even those without a valid ID document. No COVID certifications, no insurance. Animals are welcome. We prepare for 1 to 4 million refugees in days. This has just come out. Use your cyber warfare to their advantage. Slow down Russia enough to get them out of there. Don't try to put sanctions on somebody who doesn't care about money when all it's going to do is fuck with his citizens that don't even want to be in this war. You're destroying something that he gives zero shits about. If he cared about his citizens, he wouldn't be doing this right now. You're fighting a war against people that don't want to be a part of it. Grow up. Learn from this experience. Do what you need to on the cyber side of things to slow them down and save as many people as you can. It's all up to you now, Biden. And I guess even Anonymous. Because they've been doing what you should have been doing. I know I'm impassioned about this, but everybody should be. If you're not pissed off at what's going on and what you're seeing online now, you're about as soulless as I used to be. And that's pretty sad. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.